Hi everybody, I'm back with a new deck. I've kind of decided to drop the jank a little bit and play a more supported, more flushed out deck. I net decked it, not gonna lie, and then eventually I tweaked it through a couple months of play testing online and at locals. I decided to start playing Blackwings. Recently, Kalut went to 3, Roe went to 3. There's rumors. I'm really hoping now Gale goes to 2 maybe. Who knows? We'll see. But here's my version of Blackwings, and I think it's kind of interesting some of the lines I've taken. We're going to start with 1 Dark on Dragon, just because he wins you games for free. You have some graveyard manipulation with your Blizzards, but a lot of times if you have 4 or 5 in your graveyard, he's just not getting played, so you just banish him with Allure of Darkness. Play 1 Sirocco. I was playing builds without him. I didn't like him nearly as much. There's just way too much utility this card gives you. He's also just a big beater. You can play him and just kind of like run over Thunder King. It's not that relevant now, but it's a play that can happen. Because your other beater's 18, so without a Kalut he can't get over 19s or other 18s without bouncing off. So he's just a very strong turn 1 play. I only play 1 because I don't like opening multiples. But if he is dead later, you can lure him away again. Same with Dad. But I hate drawing a second Sirocco. Like, it very rarely matters, and most of the time it just sucks. 3 Shuras. This is your main beater of the deck. This is your main toolbox of the deck. This is your main Exceed and Synchro enabler of the deck. He's 1800. He runs over a guy. You special summon one with 1500 or less. I actually have a level 4 Exceed target with Kochi in the deck now. So I'm very happy with this card. It can also get any Blackwing in your deck except for Sirocco when you normal him under a Whirlwind. So that's very relevant. You have a lot of options with him. One of the best ones to get is actually Boar of the Spear. That's the next one we're going to talk about. Has Piercing, 17. It can be special if you control a Blackwing not named other than Boar of the Spear. Yeah, you can have a Bora in play and another Blackwing in special second Bora, which is really important. But, so yeah, Bora, just 3, obviously. You play the max of this guy because he's really good. He's a lot of your Exceed plays as well. You can also normal Kochi because it's level 4 tuner. And it can be synchro summoned as long as it was not first special summoned, and then special Bora from your hand, and then sync for 8. So it's a very important play to be able to make. 1 Zephyros because you only use his effect once, so you only play 1. I've experimented with 2, but it was really cloggy, and I felt kind of dumb playing 2. So I only play the 1 Zephyros. There's some really sweet plays with this because they can all special summon themselves if you have a Zephyros. You can play Zephyros, special a monster. Ick attack using Zephyros, bounce the monster, put Zephyros back into play, special the monster again and attack, and you maintain your 2 monster board after Ick attacking them. So you -1 or you +1 with Ick attack, which normally doesn't happen unless they trigger an effect. You can also have this die. You can use it for an Exceed, bounce a Whirlwind, put them back in play. Use it for a Synchro, bounce a Whirlwind, bounce a Fiendish Chain, reduce your Fiendish Chain. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I'm actually You might be able to actually bounce vanities with this, but I'm not sure if you can pay cost to special. I actually have to check that later. But if you could turn off your vanities with this card and special them, that'd be insane. Yeah, pretty ludicrous card anyway. 3 Kalut because Konami decided that it's a good idea. It's not, but I'm gonna play him anyway because Kalut's nuts. It's an Honest for 1400. You can play 3 of them. You can pump any Blackwing on attack or defense. So, or attacking or being attacked. They can't pump their defense. I'm not sure if it would actually be... It would be marginally better if it could, but it doesn't come out that often. But yeah, 3 Kalut. You can search them off of anything that isn't Gale or Blizzard with your Whirlwind, because they're one of the weaker ones. But I've also had plays where I just, summon Kalut, get Gale, special Gale, shrink their guy, make a 7, run it over. Or make a 6, run it over. So, it has been relevant, just normaling this under a Whirlwind and go getting Gale. Speaking of Gale, here he is. This is the card I really, really, really want to go to 2, and it probably never will, because it's broken. Ever. I could see this card getting... If Blackwings got good, this card would get banned. Either this card would get banned, or Whirlwind would go back to 2. This card is nuts. It's a free special summon if you control Blackwing, halves their monster's attack, has 1300 attack, which is reasonable anyway, 3-star tuner. This card is the actual literal package. If you play 2 Blizzards, because this card will muck up your hand. If you play 3 Blizzards, it's a Fiendish Chain, bait, it's effective elevate, they'll chain their vanity to this. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I still play 2 because the level 6s in this deck are pretty good. And you can also do, again, you can do the Kalut plays, the Zephyros plays, where you've used Zephyros, you played them, you used them, you brought them back, you used them, you play this, you use them again. Like, it makes all of your monsters, the fact that they die, pseudo-irrelevant, because you just bring them back with this. It's a +1, so. It's really good. Kochi, the Daybreak. This is a level 4 tuner that has the condition, if this card was special summoned, it cannot be used for a synchro material monster. Which means if you special it with Blizzard, you cannot sync. If you special it with Bora, you cannot sync. Or not Bora. If you special it with Shura, you cannot synchro. But you can always overlay. So you can Shura, run over guys, special this, make Key Beetle, Maestro, Bistral, or whatever you need. Very, very good. I played 2 main deck Max Cs because it's the best hand trap right now. Even if you discard Max C and they decide not to special at all that turn, you know, they go for 1 and you discard Max C, you draw like 1 card. Max C just cycles itself 90% of the times you're going to play it. Sometimes you play it to deter a special summon. And in that case, it normally is your opponent Baron with like 2 crappy monsters in play, normally in attack mode. And then you discard a card to end your opponent's turn. Which in Blackwings, that's all you want to do. Like, you want them to not develop a board. You to develop your board and then just eventually grind out that advantage to the end game. So I think main decking Max C is very relevant. It also turns off dragons. Normally, if a dragon player is going off, you discard Max C. If they're a bad dragon player, they'll keep going, and you'll win because you'll draw 6 or 7 cards. If they're a good dragon player, they'll stop. If they're a great dragon player, they'll keep going and kill you anyway, because a great player playing dragons is just ridiculous. So that's why I main deck 2 Max Cs. 3, again, gets clogged a lot. I also had a really good offer for my 3rd one, so I traded it. A lot of this list is I only had 2 at the time. The reason why I only played 2 Blizzards at first is because I only had 2 Blizzards. Then I realized it was actually probably better than 3 Blizzards after some online tests. 1 Book of Moon, because Fiendish Chain can get MST'd, so I played the 3rd Fiendish Chain as Book of Moon. It also has some sweet interactions with Bora and with Armed Wing, because you flip into defense mode, then you pierce. So it has some good interactions that way. It also turns off effects and negates attacks, much like Fiendish Chain, but again, cannot be MST'd. So it's very relevant. Triple Duality, because this is not the synchro spammy Vayu turbo build that you have to synchro every turn or else your deck doesn't do anything. No, you can not synchro most turns, or you cannot special most turns to press advantage, and you're still going to be winning because your traps are so good, and you're just adding cards with Whirlwind. So Duality gets you to your Whirlwinds, gets you to your Vanities, gets you to your monsters to trigger your Whirlwinds, gets you to so many different cards. So Triple Pot Duality, if I would cut anything to 2, it might be Pot, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Unless they print like another Blackwing card, or they put Bottomless to 2, I might cut this for a second Bottomless if that ever happens. But I don't really foresee it happening in the near distant future, to be honest. Triple Whirlwind, because this is the card that makes Blackwings playable. It's this Gale and Icarus attack are why Blackwings are good. They're your card advantage. It's just nuts. Like it's your wind-up factory, is what everybody says, but I didn't play that much during wind-up, so it doesn't matter to me. This is your pot of greed. You play a card, you get another card 90% of the time. They can like book your guy, and they can bottomless your guy, because this checks for what the monster's attack is on resolution, so if you get rid of the monster, then you don't get the Whirlwind trigger. But that's fine, because that means you 1-for-1 them. And unless it's the first turn, or unless you're already behind with Blackwings, you're probably going to win the 1-for-1 game, because that's just what your deck does. So, Triple Whirlwind, obviously. And again, this is a little bit more awkward now. MST's at 3, but I'll deal. If they MST this over my Vanity, I'm pretty much happy every game. One Allure of Darkness. It's the only deck that I've seen that plays all Darks minus Max Cs. So, and most decks don't even play main deck Max Cs. So I see no reason not to be playing Allure of Darkness, except for the fact that this is not a super rare, which bugs me. PM me if you have one for trade. So Allure is sweet. When you side deck into our Iron Walls in Game 2 against Dragons and some other decks, this ends up being just a Pot of Greed and then show you a Blackwing monster. So it's pretty insane that way. That interaction is actually a reason I've seen players who play Allure and cards for Black Feathers playing main decked Iron Walls. My meta isn't so heavy on dragons that I want that. I want the more diverse answer of main deck Vanity's Emptiness. So that's why I do that. But I could see there's an argument for playing main deck Iron Walls, partly because of that interaction. I play 2 of the actual Fiendish Chains. Again, Book's my 3rd one. The 4th quote-unquote, is in the side deck of a 3rd copy of Fiendish Chain. But I play 2 main deck Fiendish Chains. Sometimes your back row can get a little mucked up in this deck because you have so many kind of independent answers for different threats that sometimes you'll draw the wrong one, set it, and then not have the option to flip out of it. So just 2 Fiendish Chains. They're really good against Exceeds, Synchros, Effect Monsters. They just kind of do what they do. Fiendish Chain, very strong. 2 copies of Vanity's Emptiness. Pretty much one of the best trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. Incredibly powerful, and this deck can actually circumvent the downside of if a card goes from your field or deck to graveyard, destroy this card, by making Master Key Beetle and protecting it from its own effect, or by making Stardust Spark Dragon and protecting it when it would trigger to die. So Vanity's really strong. Took me a while to get a hold of them because they're expensive. Double Mirror Force. I was playing with Deep Prison, but I realized that the game's very kind of spammy right now. Like, if you don't have answers to 1 or 2 different creatures, you're probably going to lose. If they cite in to, like, Stardust Dragon, you know, they make a Stardust and I have a Mirror Force set, I'll take that over, like, not being able to clear a board. Like, that'll just happen. But you also have access to, like, Fiendish Chain and Book in that case. So you have a little bit more options that way. But Mirror Force is incredibly good against Fire Kings, or not Fire Kings, it's bad against Fire Kings. That's the other card that's bad. This card's actually bad against is Fire Kings. But Fire Fist and Dragons, it's pretty good. Dragons like to make Stardust a lot, but they also make Thought Ruler, which this card just destroys Thought Ruler. It doesn't target, so it just kills your guy. Yeah, a lot of good options with this. 1 Heavy Storm. But that's not Heavy Storm, it's a trap card. It's a Blackwing Heavy Storm. If you control Blackwing, you can activate it and destroy all your opponent's face-down spell and trap cards. Which is insane right now, because outside of the Mirror and, like, Boojins? Yeah, Boojins play a lot of continuous stuff. This is just a Heavy Storm. Like, they'll set 3 or 4. So if you go first and you go, like, Monster, Whirlwind, set this, go. And they're like, okay, set a Monster, set 3, go. End step, blow up all their back row. You just, like, +2'd off a trap card. And if you have 3 Blackwings, you can play it just straight from your hand. And you skip the have to wait a turn to play trap cards with claws, which is insane. And I've done that a few times. Like, you know, you summon, you add, you special, make sure they're all good, and then just play this and clear, like, their Heavy Storm or whatever that stops you from ATKing them. Triple Icarus Attack. Card's nuts. This is, like, one of your main card advantage engines. It's this and Whirlwind. Really, really aggressively plus you. Because if you, say I summon a Shura, and you flip Bottomless Trap Hole. Well, if I flip Icarus Attack, tributing my Shura, and I pop your back row on your monster, you just -1 for trying to kill my monster, and I just +1. So I traded 2 cards of mine for 3 cards of yours. It's just nuts. The only downside to this is Starlight Road, but a lot of people aren't playing Starlight Road anymore, so I feel comfortable playing the Triple Icarus Attack. It also combos very well with Blizzard, because you can Icarus Attack, kill your monster, kill their cards, play Blizzard, bring your monster back, make their level 6. Also, Zephyros. You can Icarus Attack with Zephyros, bounce a card, get back your Zephyros anyway. And then the one-of line... Warning, Bottomless Compulse Torrential. You're going to see this in almost every list. Torrential's actually the reason I'm not playing... Okay, so, doesn't need explanation. Doesn't need explanation. This over Dark Hole, I'll explain. The reason why I play Torrential Tribute over Dark Hole is that Dark Hole is not chainable. You cannot set this, wait for your opponent to do something ridiculous, and then Dark Hole them. You can do it with Torrential Tribute. That's the main reason I play it. You also don't really care if your monsters die again. You have Blizzard and some other graveyard interactions. So you don't really care if your stuff dies. But you need to be able to chain on their turn for their ridiculous play, and then you to make your board stabilizing play. So that's why I play Torrential. You can also summon Blizzard, target a monster, chain Torrential. Torrential goes, kills everything, the Blizzard brings back your monster. So you end up with a monster, they end up with nothing. That's another play you cannot make with Dark Hole, so another reason for Torrential over Dark Hole. Side deck stuff. I play a good number of level 8 synchros because we do have Kochi plus a monster and Sirocco plus Gale. So you play one Void Ogre Dragon. That's your Shi end of the deck. If you can have no cards in your hand, you can negate the activation of a spell, trap card, and destroy it once per turn. It's insane. It's a 3,000 attack Shi. Like, it's everything 6 Samurais wanted that you can just make with 2 cards. One Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader is especially good with Sirocco plus Gale because it means that they have a monster because you're able to normal summon Sirocco. Normally without tribute. So, ideally, they'll set a monster, say go, like, I've noticed that dragons, a lot of times, if they don't have a play, they'll go like Card Trooper, Mill, go, and you just make Blader run over the Card Trooper, and then they're like a bunch of turns behind at that point. Yeah, so Blader, really good. Good against Monarchs randomly, too, if Monarchs get big, because they'll make a Treeborn or a Level Eater. You just run it over. One Scrap Dragon, because this card's really, really ridiculous. Scrap Dragon allows you to Vindicate, which is destroy target permanent in Magic. It's just destroy a card with the cost of one of your cards. But if you have Key Beetle Scrap Dragon, then you can just target the card that Key Beetle is protecting. Or even you can Scrap Dragon, target, you can go Scrap Dragon, activate, target your monster, target their card, chain Ick, tribute your monster, and you kill 3 cards for 2 of your cards. So it's another +1 ability. Sorry about that. I actually had to pause the video and take care of something. Now I'm back. So, talked about Scrap Dragon, talked about some of the sweet plays with Scrap Dragon, the Icarus attack combo, and all that stuff. And next card, Stardust Spark Dragon. I keep bouncing between this and actual Stardust Dragon. I'm not sure which one I actually like better at the moment. They both have their pluses, they both have their minuses. This is particularly good because it can protect my vanities and it can protect my Iron Wall. But it cannot do so while Fiendish Chain or stuff like that, so it has its ups and downs. Right now I'm testing this out just because it is the newer card. Oh, excuse me. Just because it is the newer of the 2 cards, so I decided to play it over Stardust Dragon just for a little bit to see how it works. 7s, 1 Armor Master, because we are Blackwings, and this card, plus Vanities, is actually really, really good. Like, this Key Beetle Vanities is pretty much a lock. Excuse me. The only outs are like Dark Hole. Like you need specifically Dark Hole or Dark Hole type effect, which a lot of players aren't playing anymore because dragons are so resilient to it. Let's play Black Rose Dragon. Another reason I don't play Dark Hole is because I have access to this now. This also gets around cards like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and Royal Decree. Stuff like that. Stuff that I can't get off the board normally. I'll just go like 4 into Gale into this. So, very powerful. 6s, we have 1 THS Simuth, however you say this card. It's a DD Warrior Lady that you can synchro for 6 into. So you can go Blizzard plus any 4, attack into your guy, alright, I take damage, banish both. Very powerful, very good against just random cards that are hard to get over, random monsters. 1 Armed Wing, very powerful against Ghost Tricks, oddly. Like, you just, like, pierce the Ghost Trick. It's really good in combination with Book of Moon and Sirocco, and Book of Moon plus this is normally lethal. It's just a good level 6 to go into along with this guy. And it's another Collude target along with Armor Master. They can both be colluded because they're Blackwing monsters. So, it's just a card that every Blackwing player plays. Same with Catastor. Catastor is Gale plus Collude. Pretty much is the only way to make this guy. Or not Gale. Blizzard plus Collude is the only way to make this guy. And so you just play the 1 Catastor. It's very good. A lot of players aren't playing a lot of Dark Monsters right now. It just runs over stuff and kills it. So, it's a good card. That's it for the white cards. Now we're going to get to the Exceeds. Play 1 Key Beetle. Been talking about it this whole video. Key Beetle is really nuts. It's a very, very powerful card. Being able to protect any one of your cards, actually up to 2 of your cards, if he survives the first turn, which he probably will anyway. Just insanely powerful card. This deck makes it very easy. Yeah, nuts in power level. 2 Ice Beast Zephyrons. Another out to cards like Royal Decree and Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and stuff like that. Zephyr allows you to negate all face-up cards on your opponent's side of the field, negate the effect of all of them. It also gains 300 attack for each face-up card in play other than itself. So it'll negate swords, it'll negate lead yoke, it'll negate Dracosac, Stardust Dragon, everything and anything. Negates all of their effects, gets big, runs stuff over. A lot of ODKs start with make Zephyr negate the card that's preventing me from kill you. So, very powerful card. One Maestroke. Maestroke I actually wasn't playing for a while. I was playing another rank 8 Exceed, or level 8 Exceed. I didn't like it nearly as much as just having access to Maestroke. You have a lot of kind of slow plays. You can make Maestroke flip their guy, run over with Maestroke, or even better, make Maestroke flip the guy, run it over with Armed Wing, 2800 piercing on your now defense position monster. Plus, it doesn't die. You can torrential with this guy and protect him, stuff like that. So there's a lot of very interesting plays. You can also have Scrap Dragon plays again, target him, target card, prevent his own death, stuff like that. So it's a very powerful card. One Abyss Dweller, because I don't like losing to Dark World. I don't like losing to Fire Kings. There's a bunch of cards that a bunch of decks Abyss Dweller shuts down pretty effectively. So you just play one of those. You play a Cowboy because you like winning in time, and you like just kind of honesting over stuff with his attack position mode. The last few cards are pretty obvious. I should be getting a Diamond Dire Wolf and a Black Ship Corn here very soon now that they've been reprinted in the tins, and I honestly have no idea what I'm going to cut for them. I don't even know if I'm going to be playing Black Ship Corn, actually, but I feel like I need to play Diamond Dire, because he can, like, tribute your random Blackwing stuff, so it's going to be interesting. So now we're going to go to the side deck stuff, and the first one has been kind of controversial, gotten a lot of back and forth input on it, but it's one Thunder King. Now, I know Thunder King shuts down Duality, it shuts down Black Whirlwind and all that. You don't got to tell me that. I thought about it long and hard, decided on Thunder King. Why? Because Thunder King plus Vanities is nuts against dragons. If they don't have their blaster, they can't search for it. I'll say that again. If they don't have their blaster, they can't search for it to get over your Vanities. Very rarely going to make a card big enough to get over this. The only option is like Card Trooper, Mill 3, but a lot less cut Card Trooper. So Thunder King plus Vanities is just nuts. Against Spellbooks, obviously, it's very good because it's Thunder King against Spellbooks. Stuff like that. So that's why I decided to play the Thunder King. I'll just play one Smashing Ground to get over the untargetable stuff. It also beats Consecrated Light very effectively. You just play Smashing Ground, kill their Consecrated Light, and then do what your normal Blackwingy stuff. Then we play triple MST, because sometimes Icarus Attack isn't enough. You need MST to beat stuff like Dragon's Ravine, and Gates of the Dark World, so you kind of shut down their engine before it starts, kind of thing. And so MST is just a very, very powerful card. So I decided to side deck the three of them. The second, Delta Crow Anti-Reverse. Against decks like Fire Kings and a deck I think is going to become very popular, Glad Beasts, you're going to want a second one of these just to kill their back row. Back row is very, very good right now, and a lot of decks set a lot of it. But again, you don't want to draw 2 in game 1 against a deck that has none, because it's terrible. One deck Devastation Virus beats Ghost Tricks, which are going to become relevant because for whatever reason people fucking love that deck. Sorry about swearing. I just realized I did it. Ghost Tricks, Water. You'll pop a lot of their stuff with the Mermel deck. Quasar, which is becoming more popular with Tuning getting a reprint. I've seen a lot of people online running around with Quasar decks. This just destroys Quasar. It just can't do anything outside of deck dev. So, we play the one deck dev. I don't play 2 because it kind of mucks up a little bit. I feel like with Triple Duality and Allure and Triple Duality, Lure, and Whirlwind, you should be thinning your deck enough that you can draw into your side deck stuff. You won't open it with turn 1, obviously. But I feel like against the decks, you're going to need it. Quasar does give you a few turns. Water gives you a few turns. You know, you can draw into this. And if I feel like I'm never drawing this, I'll just play a second one. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Double Goes in Match, because I want to beat dragons. And this card's very good against dragons. It's like this, Vanities, Iron Wall, all really good against dragons. They have to kill all of it. So, yeah, I play the Goes in Match. It's also good against random decks. Just random stuff goes and beats. Any deck that likes to, like, Tour Guide Any deck that wants to like splash for Tour Guide, if they put a Tour Guide in play, you can flip Gozen Match. They get the other Tour Guide, but they normally can't exceed. Well, even if they exceed into a dark, if their deck isn't dark, they're just locked into darks. So like the only dark in their deck is Tour Guide, so you just Gozen them. Double Light Imprisoning Mirror, because Consulars are really good, and the only line I play is my side deck, so I don't need to worry about this conflicting with my main deck. And you just might as well play Light Imprisoning Mirror. It shuts down a lot of stuff. It also shuts down Shining Spark Dragon, which is a really sweet interaction. So if you need to kill one of their cards and they have Shining Spark, you can just flip Light Imprisoning Mirror. Triple Iron Wall, 1 Ultra, 1 foil, 2 commons. Iron Wall. I want to beat dragons. At times I want to say it. I'm tired of losing to dragons. I side deck against dragons. It's also good against spellbooks. They can't banish for Fate. They can't banish for Priestess Pop. So it's pretty good. Yeah, that's about all I have to say against Iron Wall. Hold on, I have a cord stuck under my chair. There it goes. So Iron Wall's really good. It's a good side deck card. I have 3 of them. I'm going to play 3 of them. Last card. The 3rd Real Fiendish Chain, the 4th Fiendish Chain type effect. Why do I play 4? Because sometimes you need all 4. Like against zombies or some other back row light deck, I'm going to side in the Fiendish Chain over the anti-reverse, because I don't need a Heavy Storm against them. I need more effect veilers. I need more stop doing that broken thing I don't want you to do effect. So I'm just about 10 minutes on this video, and I split the video in half, so this video is probably really long. So that's my deck tech for Blackwings. Again, comment, like, favorite, subscribe, tell me you hate Blackwings, tell me they're the best deck ever, tell me I'm a terrible person, whatever you want, put it in the comments. Subscribe. I will be trying to do more videos here soon. Hopefully I'll actually have some like Blackwing gameplay videos I'll do with some commentary. I'm going to be trying to be a lot more active on this channel. I'm working 40 hours a week now, so it's a little bit harder to make videos, but I feel I'm going to dedicate more of my weekend time towards this channel and video gaming in general, not just deck tech stuff, but also fighting games and whatever other games I feel like playing. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching again. Do all that fancy YouTube stuff, and have a good day.